This AFC South Division preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by SGPN Fantasy. Dominate your draft with the free SGPN Draft Kit. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft kit. And the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's rock.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Football, baby. That's what's fucking happening. Football happened this weekend. I listened to recap shows this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Multiple shows. Sorry, Colby. You're not the only one.
NFL week 0. I mean,
Wait,
we'll
you mean college football.
Oh yeah. Sorry. College football weeks. When's the NFL going to steal that idea? Why? I mean,
there's literally no games this weekend.
I know. Why is
How
this not NFL week 0?
Spring.
Just pick like 4 teams that maybe I don't know. Maybe some teams get 2 buys. We can figure this out.
Post cuts. Everyone who isn't on a team is eligible. Each team drafts 7 players.
This is where
little flag football tourney.
This is where we need the one of those spring leagues, the MLFB, whatever that their Ponzi scheme. We need these guys. We need these guys to run a game this weekend. Although we have an awesome slate of college football, we dominated college football. I mean,
Colby's already lobbying for 2 college football episodes this week.
Yeah, we'll see. But and we'll see.
He's like a dude who went to the rub and tug for the first time. And you guys really got to check out these massages. We should do multiple massages. Deshaun Watson, not a bad guy after all.
Oh wow, so much to unpack. So we're doing the AFC South Division preview. If you missed the individual team previews, we walk through the schedule, break down how we got to these records that we're going to go over again. We're also going to throw in our favorite future bet for the teams. And
wait, so we will not be going through the schedule again, Sean?
No. And then our favorite player prop for each team. So
can we adjust the record on the team if we choose?
Well, Ryan, then we need to discuss your performance. Ryan actually totaled up all the games. Yeah. Won and lost, and he has the NFL somehow losing 30 more games than it's played, right? Or what? What are your exact figures?
I mean, if you're gonna spit some hot data here, let me pull. And by the way, I am the one who also put the data together, so I am a truth seeker. We all know this. I did in fact, Sean. So you had the NFC going 130 and 142. 7 overs, 9 unders. I had them going 121 and 151.
Okay.
5 overs, 11 unders. Way off there. AFC, I was 136 and 136. You were 140 and 132. So that wasn't where I was crazy. My hot take is the NFC is somehow going to lose more games than physically possible. So yeah, I skewed a little under.
Okay.
I skewed under in the NFC, which isn't exactly a hot take. No. And at the end of the day, Sean, I ended up with 14 overs and 18 unders, which isn't that far off of your 17 unders and 15 overs. So once again, suck it. The data proves out. The data sets us all free. The data sets us all free. We don't bet records. We bet win totals.
You're right, Ryan. I'm with you.
All right. Thank you. And by the way, it is a kick. It's going to be a pretty awesome spreadsheet.
Looking forward to that spreadsheet. Are you going to put it on the website, Ryan?
No, it's probably just for us.
Okay. Awesome. You know what's something we can share? Our love of WynnBet. That's right. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. I mean, it's primetime football season. Week 1, college football lines already there. Week 1, NFL lines already there. And we're going to be broadcasting live from the WinBet studios in beautiful Wynn, Las Vegas for NFL Week 1, college football Week 2, prop shows, bonus shows, live shows, special guests.
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
That's right. It's all happening. All thanks to our good buddies over at WinBet. And hey, if you're in a WinBet casino state, 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Bet $100, get $100 free bet. Get in on their first quarterback with 5 touchdowns. Prop bets. That's a lot of fun as well. So much to choose from. All you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. That's WYNNBET. Claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Ryan, and as I mentioned in the pre-roll, the pre-roll football contests are back. You're welcome,
Yes, sir.
loyal listeners. This is our chance to give back to you guys. College football, we're giving away $1,500 up for grabs.
Wow. For free.
Yeah, coming from our money. You're welcome, listeners. You guys earned it. Now, the $1,500 college football contest, that contest is salary style. So I think you start with 10,000 fake dollars. Use it however you want.
Hold on, I'm coming in. So all in week 1 is allowed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got no beef with it. And it's free. So we can talk game theory, but I think you have to play kind of aggressive in those salary cap or, in those salary style contests.
Can we parlay?
I think so. Yeah. I think now don't quote me on this. I think it's just set up like a sports book.
Perfect.
And
perfect.
And then for the NFL contests against the spread, picking games. Now the lines for the NFL contest don't lock at a certain time. So if you want to bet them early in the week or if you want to wait till some late action happens, that's up to you. $5,000 up for grabs and a 2-night stay at the Wynn Las Vegas. Get in on the contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord.
Sean had one requirement. Make sure that sharps like us can get a better number than
well,
the rest
for
of you
CLV
squares.
junkies like us. Hey, before we get to the AFC South, of course, shouting out Odds Trader, one-stop shop to compare all the major books, get the best sign-up codes, the promos, get it all in one stop. Player stats, game stats, injury reports, they got you covered. Handicapping, live scores, and bet tracking. Weather, it's great. It's just convenient to have it all in one place. oddstrader.com/Blue Wire, oddstrader.com/Blue Wire, Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. All right, Kramer, let's get to it.
All right. Well, I mean, how do you want to start? Should we?
Well, Dryden's checking in saying I have a disgusting amount of money on the Texans already. Thanks to you, gents. Another AFC South pod may be bad for my bankroll.
Thank you for participating in
this. Is the one of us. This is the one of us moment.
Do we save the? I mean, do we start with the Titans or save the Titans for the end?
I think
because I think we've already made our positions clear.
No, we'll
Texans,
start.
Texans.
We'll start from the top.
Okay.
So the win total, the Colts are at the top. Of course, Sean, I predicted them to go 8-9. You predicted them to go 9-8. Both of us, early prediction was on the under. I'm curious if there will be any sort of sway here. You were very close. My number or my favorite future, if that's where we're going to start. You want to start with that or the win total? Should we just lock up the win total or make that last? Because I'm keeping it under.
Yeah, I'm not adjusting anything.
All right, then miss playoffs is the future I like the most for the Colts.
Okay,
plus 125.
I'm getting more aggressive as the process has gone on. Ryan, I've gotten more aggressive in my stance against the Colts. I initially had them at 9-8. Again, I'm not going to change.
Are we making them 8-9 right now on the show live?
No, I'm not changing any of my records.
Wow. Wow.
It's not trusting the process.
It's not who you are.
Although I am going to give this prop out, which I gave out 9-8, and obviously under the 10 win totals over at WinBet. But I'm going to say
easy.
Colts under 9 at plus 180. Now debate. What do you like better? Miss playoffs at plus 125 or I like under 9 at plus 180.
I'm viewing the missed playoffs as an alternative to playing under 10 because I think you got to get 10 to be in, and so just getting a better price on that. I think for
but you could go you could get in at 9 and 8, and then I would be a push and you would lose.
Yeah, I don't think anyone from. Perhaps they win the division at 9 and 8. Maybe you're right, but I will say I don't mind your bet as well. But I would prefer to play.
I like the higher odds, right? I'm a guy who likes to bet a little and get big results,
and maybe glance those eyes over a column before you start talking hot shit. Because I'm coming in with some. I didn't bring a heavy future. Only plus 125.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything fun like mixing up there. Just staying on the under. But Matt Ryan, Sean, to have the most interceptions. It's not like we're talking about a guy who's been hyper conservative with the ball, Sean. If you had to guess, how many interceptions Matt Ryan have last year?
12.
Wow.
Well, I know.
Are you familiar with Matt Ryan's stats?
I was also looking up Matt Ryan's stats before the show, but I don't mind that at all.
12, 11, 14. Those are his last 3 seasons. If you average that, it puts him squarely at the top of the board of all quarterbacks over that time period. Now, obviously, people would say, "Hey, look at Frank Reich. He's gonna keep him concerned." I'm playing he's gonna fall off the cliff, and they don't have anyone better. He's very capable to start the season with a couple interceptions. Rocky start versus our Texans. And hey, what would it have taken last year, Sean? We're very familiar with this as well. Was it 17? I believe was the winner last year.
Yeah. I'm Matt Stafford and Trevor Lawrence tied for most interceptions.
I'm certainly playing a uphill battle because of the limited passes. But as far as a fun way to take a long shot on a Colts team, that I just don't understand why everyone like the take I've leaned into more is Matt Ryan. I thought he was at the cliff in Atlanta. I don't think things have gotten better, and I think he's not the kind of athlete that's going to fall gracefully.
Maybe we can get a Jake Jake Photoshop Wiz Paquin to. I'm imagining.
Oh, I know what it is.
I'm imagining Roadrunner after he runs over the cliff with like holding up a sign that says "Help," but then it's Matt Ryan's head on a Wile E. Coyote.
Okay,
because Roadrunner would have figured it out, but. Where he actually is off the cliff. Because I'm with you. I think Matt Ryan is completely.
I thought we were going Fast and the Furious style, hanging onto the car as it's.
Oh yeah.
Because then you can work more people into the cliff. Peyton Manning can be falling off the cliff too. It's a lot like R. Kelly and Tom Cruise in the closet back in South Park. Look, I just if he's off the cliff and he gets just a little bit worse. Why not? So I'll throw that out there. 40-1. Again, that kind of odd because as for a division I have so many strong takes on. I don't have for both the Colts and the Jags. I feel like I didn't have a ton of player takes.
Yeah. Easy in the YouTube chat saying Jonathan Taylor over 12.5 rushing touchdowns. He'll have the bulk of them, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. I think he's going to get a ton of volume. Naheem Hines.
I don't love that, but yeah, I don't love the overs.
Okay. Yeah. As you know, Ryan's all team under, but if I had to choose a side on that, I would go over. To me, and again, I'm not going big shot here. I'll say that for my Titans play, but Matt Ryan under 25.5 passing touchdowns. I just
talking shit on team under, and all I see in this row is under.
He's coming off a year, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Where is he getting these 6 extra touchdowns from?
The high pace of play.
He had Kyle Pitts. They got 1 touchdown to him. I just don't, I mean, you have Pittman, sure, but then again, you have Jonathan Taylor, who's going to steal a lot of that goal line stuff. I know, Patterson, maybe, I don't know, man. I just don't see him airing it out.
I think the best version of this team is a good defense, good running game. Matt Ryan doesn't fuck it up. I think
people say like, oh, Carson Wentz had 27 last year in this offense. I think what I would say.
Is that true? Holy shit.
What I would say.
He played every game.
What I would say is different is one, I don't think Matt Ryan gets through 17 games. I think he's hitting the wall physically.
Hurts my interception.
And then B, you know, as much as it pains me to say something positive about Carson Wentz, he would have those big explosive down the field plays. He would also have he only threw 7 interceptions. So that's the other thing that's funny. Everyone's like, Matt Ryan is such a better quarterback. Matt Ryan's stats were way worse.
I'll take that bet right now. Matt Ryan will not be 27-7.
Yes. And I understand their system maybe a little bit better, but and you have Jonathan Taylor, sure. But man, Wentz is his shittiness doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. It's just a like complete turtling in big moments, and it's fumbles and stuff like that. It's really and taking bad sacks. It's not necessarily in touchdowns and interceptions. Touchdowns, even when he's been bad, he's been
pretty wild though.
Even when he's been bad, he's thrown touchdown passes. So I just don't think it's plug and play for Matt Ryan and touchdown passes. I like the under a lot here at 25.5.
Yeah, and again, to be, I guess one other way, I didn't write this one down, but I do also like fading them in the division, just taking their under division wins at 3.5. So
Jordan Earhart in the YouTube chat saying Wentz funniest moment had to be when he threw a left-handed interception versus the Titans last year. No, I mean, again, if you want a good laugh, just cue up the Carson Wentz left-handed interception montage.
He was trying to.
There were like multiple, or no, just left-handed throws. Couple were intercepted. Couple just. I mean, they're all ill-advised throws because they're with your non-throwing hand in the NFL. Like what?
He's a gunslinger, Sean. Gunslingers shoot with their left and their right.
No, that's you're a gunslinger. You use one hand. You don't just. It would be like, you know, you're really quick on the draw, or you just toss the gun at someone and hope you hit them. Like that's the equivalent of throwing left-handed. You're just like tossing a bullet
just
at someone. So yeah, I'm not going to adjust any of my win total stuff.
I had one more long shot bet that I maybe mentioned on the team preview episode that is worth noting because we are the D-Gens. Unique Ngakoue,
yes,
to have the most sacks, 80-1. It's more of just another play on the defense. Maybe he has a good year, talent all around him. He's the other guy, so.
Yeah. When did he change? Was it just, it was always the same, but he just changed the pronunciation or reminded people of the correct pronunciation?
I don't think he's a guy that's out there a ton. So I think people are just boldly mispronouncing his name. I don't know. Again, this through, you know, the source was the person. So I'm going to take his word for it on the name pronunciation there. All right, moving on.
Yep. Tennessee Titans. Let's go.
So yeah, again, 6-11 for me, under 10-7 for you, over.
Yep.
We're gonna fight on this one, I guess. Hashtag tighten up. The fans have already come after me hard, and we figured it out. I think one thing we are aligned on. Kind of curious how this team gets to the over with the situation that I think you're gonna lay out, but. I think we realize the fans don't like when you come after hashtag team Ryan Tannehill, and I'll start right there. Because Tannehill to go under 21.5 passing touchdowns is a stone cold lock this year because he's not finishing the season because this team's going under, way under. I'm gonna parlay 2 props here. Under 8 is plus 200, Sean. So I'm willing to play this team takes a bigger step back than everyone else. The juju, the magic coach dust of the Vrabel and his dick severing threats is now years in the past. And I think, you know, a team of vets maybe works a little harder for a guy like Tannehill. I don't know, maybe bringing in the young guy, we'll see how that works out. But I do think we're going to see him at the end of the year. I do think this team is going to signal that they're going towards the future, just like they did this offseason and some of their contracts and moves. And yeah, I'm just leaning into it heavy. So under for the Tannehill passing touchdowns. Love that one. Lean in harder on the under 9.5 by taking under 8 plus 200.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, and we'll give out our locks for the win totals at the end here. This one is the one I feel the least strong on in the division. I'm going to stick
it back.
No, I'm just telling you, I'm going, I like the only future I like for them is over 9.5 because you're getting the plus odds there. I do think there's an infrastructure there with Mike Vrabel. as head coach, and Derrick Henry, who I still think is a very competent running back. So I'm on the over there. However, my prop is Malik Willis, offensive rookie of the year, 50-1. If you watch this guy in preseason, he is goddamn electric. Now, something Mike Vrabel knows as a veteran head coach, when you don't play the best guys, you lose the locker room.
Yep.
Mike Vrabel was there. He was there when Drew Bledsoe got injured. And then all of a sudden Drew Bledsoe got healthy. And you know who still played quarterback? Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the young rookie and he played much better than Drew Bledsoe. Was Drew Bledsoe horrible? Oh no, Drew Bledsoe got you the playoffs. He was good. How could you replace Drew Bledsoe with the rookie? Cause the rookie's a lot fucking better. Yep. This is the similar situation. I mean, the eye test is there. Malik Willis is a much better, I think, and to Vrabel's credit, similarly, like you saw with the Ravens, how they built this offense around a guy who's young, passing skills are raw, has an insane cannon. They build an offense around him, and it's super successful. I mean, imagine a read option with Malik Willis and Derrick Henry. That is not something you want to defend. I'm saying, I think here's my prediction. Now that there's no AJ Brown, Ryan Tannehill is kind of going to get exposed as not being the quarterback maybe that we thought he was.
Robert Woods is there.
Clearly Tannehill's in his own head. Yeah. So I think the path to him playing is there. I love him 50-1.
Do you think Vrabel's going to be in on the QB change?
Yeah. Vrabel's a defensive guy. He doesn't give a shit about quarterbacks. He gives a shit about winning. And as soon as Ryan Tannehill's not doing that, he's out.
What week?
We'll see. So that's why, again, it's a tough window because I think what happens is, they're like 4-7. Malik Willis comes in, wins 6 in a row, and sneaks him into the playoffs because they don't know how to defend him yet. They probably get destroyed round 1 of the playoffs, but I think they're going to go on a run with Malik Willis just because he's a tough matchup.
They have at week 13, they have at Philly. And then after that, it's Jags, at Chargers, Houston, Dallas, at Jags. Not a tough defense in the bunch.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what.
Well, Eagles are a tough defense, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. After the Eagles.
Okay, after the Eagles.
Maybe you don't start Malik Willis his first game in Philly on the road.
No.
You wait till you play Jacksonville at home. So maybe that's when we see him. He gets 5 starts. That's probably that's not enough, right? To win Rookie of the Year.
Here's the thing. I think
he's got to be dynamic.
I think in this year, I think here's what he does.
Well, in your scenario, they win the division, so he definitely is probably in consideration.
If he comes in and helps them get to the playoffs, he's 100% it, right?
He needs more than. I think 5 games isn't enough.
To your point, you're right. I think 7 is kind of a sweet spot. And you go back to 2018, Lamar Jackson, who went 6-1, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, had a ton of 1,200 passing yards, a bunch of rushing yards. Maybe would have been in the running. Obviously, Saquon Barkley won it that year. It was his first and only good year as a fantasy pick.
Oh wow! Wow.
But I think
take.
part of the Malik Willis is also that this class is going to the receivers are going to kind of split it up. There's not going to be one dominant receiver. The running backs, your path to getting there is really hard. I mean, Dameon Pierce, a guy we love, we'll get to him later. He's down to 12-1. I just don't see enough value there. And Malik Willis, after Kenny Pickett, who's like 9-1, Malik Willis is 50-1. So, I mean, he's the second quarterback odds wise. To me, there's a ton of value.
Yeah, it just reflects how much Vegas doesn't believe they're going to play. That he's going to get enough playing time. That's to me what it means. But I'm with you. I think
and Tannehill's gotten banged up before, so there's a world where that happens too.
There is. I mean, he certainly had some fun preseason moments, which we know that doesn't always indicate regular season success. But he certainly showed something that you could imagine might even fool a locker room. An NFL locker room and thinking maybe this other dude can give us a better shot to win games, especially if they start slow. Like that's the key to all of this. Tannehill has to start with cracks, and you know how that starts, Sean? Week 1, New York Giants plus 220 on the money line.
Maybe that's a way out for me because it's like if somehow the Titans lose week 1, because I'm sure I haven't made my picks yet, Ryan, but I'm sure. I will be on the Titans -6.5. So
it's important
if the Giants win outright somehow, then I'll be like, oh, Malik Willis, this is good for his Rookie of the Year.
It is important to remind everyone. Last time I was this low on the Titans, They went on to make the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So,
what career year for the
worth noting. And last year when Sean and I projected 2-15 for the Bengals, they also reached the AFC Championship game and Super Bowl. So
yeah, we have a knack for really shitting on one team and then them shoving it back.
This wasn't it though, because we didn't agree on this one. So
in our face.
One of the few disagreements.
We got 2 more teams coming up before we do. Shout out to Run Your Pool. That's right. Speaking of contests, I already mentioned the free roll football contest. You also have to get in our NFL Survivor contest we're doing with Run Your Pool. If you're running your own pool, obviously you got to do it over at Run Your Pool. Step 1 though, hop in our NFL Survivor contest, $500 cash and a $250 gift certificate to the SGPN store. All you got to do is go to play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. And again, they offer every sort of pick'em, survivor, fantasy, and they fully customize it. So if you're probably the person in your friend group, your office that's in charge of running the pools, probably say, "Hey, Larry, you're running the pool this year, right?" And you don't want to run a pool manually. It's a huge pain in the ass. Run Your Pool takes care of that. So sign up for our pool first, play.runyourpool.com/SGPN, and then take it from there. We're also brought to you by Promo Guy. That's right. Promo Guy is, I'm always looking for new angles, maximize betting profits. You guys got to check out promoguy.us, small group of passionate sports bettors. And it's been great. They've, they do all the heavy lifting to find the best promos, odd boosts, and bonuses that sportsbooks have to offer. Promoguy.us. They also give out some picks here, tracked profits 19 consecutive months. Go to promoguy.us and sign up there. You got a bunch of bonuses there, some plus EV picks. And again, it's your personal guide to betting like a pro. That's promoguy.us. All right, Kramer, what do we got here for the next 2 teams?
Did I mention the Titans to have the fewest wins is 50-1? Probably don't like it that much, because I do think that I think there's some juice if Malik Willis comes in. He can beat the Jags at the end of the season.
Richard Kurtzberger saying I noticed I'm bouncing when I'm doing the commercials. I'm bringing the energy, bringing the heat.
He's bouncing because football's around the corner.
I got a little spring in my step.
Pro football is around the corner.
Professional football, the best kind of football around.
Jacksonville.
Come on, Colby's not here. We don't have to pretend that college is as good as the National Football League.
Two college previews. Come on, Colby. All right. The Jags win total was 6.5. Sean, we both had them going well beneath that. I'm guessing we're not adjusting. I was at 3-8-14. You were at 4-13.
Yeah.
Not buying into the hype. All right. So how do I bet this? 4th place in the division plus 250. Really like this angle. Again, for some reason, the Texans getting no fucking love. The fact that the difference between them 3rd place and them 4th place is a nearly double the payout is insane to me. That to me the Jags should be about the same to finish 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I don't know what's going on here. 2.5 to 1. Just give it to me. Inject it into my veins.
I was going back and forth between 4th place at plus 250 or adjusted under 5.5. I think. Or so wait, what is the win total at WinBet is 6.5. So yeah, I was looking at an adjusted total of 5.5 going under that. But I think 4th place is better because there's a world where they get 6 wins, but the Texans get 7. So
we're very high in the Texans.
Yeah,
I would much rather. Yeah, I think I would prefer the plus 250 to the under 5.5 for sure. As far as some props, I'll come in with the super long shots. I finally was able to find a place offering this. But we know the news about James Robinson, who's going to be slowly worked in, and it's almost like Travis Etienne didn't even get hurt last year at this point. But those are the top 2 running backs. The guy behind them, guy who was drafted by the current team, Sean.
Yep.
Not drafted by Urban Meyer, not drafted by the coach before that. Snoop Connor, 300 to 1, rookie of the year. You laid out the case why it's tough for a running back to do it.
Yeah,
but
300 to 1.
If I'm gonna
walk me through the scenario where we get Snoop Connor to
James Conner never sees the field.
James Robinson.
Sorry, James Robinson. I'm combining names now. Never sees the field.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we haven't talked of all the fantasy drafts we've done. Ryan, what's your Travis Etienne ownership? Because I feel like I don't have any teams with him. I don't really want any Travis Etienne. I think James Robinson is still the guy for the Jags. He's still kind of banged up. Maybe you could talk. I think James Robinson's interesting best ball, but Travis Etienne, where he's drafted, I have like no Travis Etienne.
I almost took Travis Etienne's over 1,025.5 total yards. Here's the case.
Okay, I can book that for you.
Here's the case. He played college ball with Lawrence.
Yeah.
And if things are going, there's going to be a lot of dump off. I do think that I drafted him on the show at least once early in the process. But once he became a 3rd round pick, I'm doing some of my FFPC drafts right now. He's going very high. And I think to your point, there's most likely going to be a committee based on how Doug P has had his teams run in the past. And just based on the talent, it seems like there's definitely going to be a committee. Now, do I think there's a strong chance that Etienne outperforms all the other running backs on the roster? Yes. Do I think it's a draft him in the 3rd or 4th round versus Robinson 7-8 rounds later versus Snoop Connor undrafted? No. So I would absolutely. I mean, if you want a strictly fantasy question, I'm not buying Travis Etienne at his current value. He's being drafted almost at his ceiling, and you're not factoring in the injury. He also is coming off a very bad injury.
Yeah, Travis Etienne had a Liz Frank injury, so he's gonna be like a pure rookie. And I don't know. Have you seen anything in the preseason where you're like, wow, this guy looks great?
So again, James Robinson coming off
I'm looking at
catastrophic.
I'm looking at his preseason highlight. It's him forcing a fumble after a Trevor Lawrence interception.
James Robinson is
Do you get fantasy points for that?
Achilles?
No, Travis Etienne forced a fumble after an interception.
No. I'm saying what did so he's coming off of Liz
Etienne
Frank,
had Liz Frank,
and James Robinson is Achilles.
I think.
So these are two horrible injuries for a running back to come back.
I mean, that's why it's like James Robinson to me is at least okay. Maybe talk me into him because he's so late. But Travis Etienne in the 3rd round, what are we talking about?
So Snoop Connor, who was drafted in the 5th round out of Ole Miss, the team we'll see playing Texas A&M this fall, Sean. Why wouldn't you take a stab on this situation? If he's getting 20 plus carries a game at some point, would you be shocked? Yes. But if I said all it takes is these two other guys who are coming off of injuries that generally affect the ability of a running back the following season, yeah, we're in business. So 300-1 seemed fun.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's easy to poke holes in something at 300-1, but at least I can see the path to it for sure.
And then I mean, I think we agree on this one, but worth throwing out because it's the only way to be positive for me on this team.
Yeah.
Is you take Doug Peterson to win Coach of the Year. I think what was it when we started giving it out? 20-1.
20-1. Yeah. I mean, I think Doug P Coach of the Year is a fun hedge. Again, I think he's owed a Coach of the Year nomination for his work in 2017, where they gave it to that coward Sean McVay. I mean, he beat Sean McVay with Nick Foles, and he took a backup quarterback, Nick Foles, who is barely in the league. And got him a Super Bowl MVP. So I think he deserved Coach of the Year in 2017. So if there's any signs of life in this Jags team, how is he not also included in Coach of the Year? So at 18-1, 20-1, even though I'm under 4th place, I'm fine taking Doug P Coach of the Year because it's a fun little hedge. And I'm not going massive on these other, essentially, plus 250, minus 110 on the under win total. I do also really like, again, just being down on this team, Trevor Lawrence under 22.5 passing touchdowns. He threw 12 last year. So
how many?
12. I mean,
so he needs to regress heavily, like past
double his passing touchdowns, which we had the similar conversation with Daniel Jones. And I'm just skeptical that a guy can double his passing touchdowns. I get it. I get the upside case, but if he's doubling his passing touchdowns, there's way more like high upside stuff that you could bet that I think are interesting. But 12 passing touchdowns. I mean, I get it. Urban Meyer was bad, but at the end of the day, you're the fucking quarterback. You got to get more than 12. Getting 12. He played 17 games and got 12 passing touchdowns. Do you know how hard that is in the NFL? Like you can get 2 a game and be, not great.
I will say, as much as it's fun to think about,
even Jalen Hurts, who's seen as like a rushing quarterback who struggles throwing the ball last year,
true.
He still had 16 in 15 games.
Oh, that's a fun nugget. Yeah, I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence looked bad. He didn't just look like he had a bad coach. He looked bad. I do think that when you have like Travis Etienne, if he's healthy and he is right, I do think that's going to matter to the offense. I think I like Christian Kirk too. I think the offense could move the ball.
Christian Kirk is a guy fantasy wise that I realize I don't have enough of. He's the only one on this Jags.
Obviously for me to predict a 3-win team, I also think the defense is bad. I also think this is an ownership group that doesn't give a fuck. Like Doug P could very well just be doing a retirement cash grab here. He might not give a shit. Like that's, what the hole in the theory that Doug P is the quarterback whisperer and going to fix Trevor Lawrence is Doug P not giving a shit.
Yeah.
He's at a stadium with a hot tub. Like, don't forget that.
I mean,
this is Jacksonville. There's no,
he's got a visor, likes ice cream.
So dude,
he might not be grinding. Put it that
all
way.
The money
Doug
on
P.
plus 250 fourth place for me.
And research Flat Earth in the YouTube channel. Again, subscribe to YouTube, turn the notifications on so you guys can hop in the conversation here. If Doug P wins Coach of the Year, you might also want to play Jags win the division and make playoffs because Coach of the Year always wins. So to me, I'm kind of doing the opposite because they're plus 700 to win the division and only plus 370 to make the playoffs. To me, those aren't good hedges because I'm out on them essentially. My hedge is Doug P Coach of the Year. I'm kind of going in reverse where if they do win the division, he's a shoo-in for Coach of the Year. If they do make the playoffs, he's pretty good to win Coach of the Year. And I'd rather take that at like 18-1, 20-1 than these smaller ones, right? That's how I see it.
I think the only way a team's getting out of this division is by winning it. So I guess inform your bets based on that, however you want. But I wouldn't sniff make playoffs from this team. I mean, honestly, at miss playoffs at minus 500 or whatever it is, that's like a mortgage the house kind of bet, right? They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't see it.
You want to talk about a team who is going to make the playoffs?
The Houston Texans. Let's go, Ryan.
The win total was grossly set at 4 very early in the process. Yep. Bumped to 4.5 when we talked about it. Sean, at this point, well over a month ago. They dangled a number of 35, 30, as low as 20. As we speak, as low as 25-1 to win the fucking division.
WinBet has them at over 4.5 plus 105.
I'm going to remind you. The nerds over at the Football Outsiders have assigned a 7.9 mean win to the Colts, the Titans, and the Texans with the Jags at 7.6. It's a 4-team division. They all play each other. And you're telling me that the Houston Texans, who have arguably the best quarterback in the division, arguably the best wide receiver in the position in the division, and arguably the best running back in the division. I'm just kidding. Right. Derrick Henry is better, and so is Jonathan Taylor. It was a joke.
Hold on, let me put some mitts on.
But
I like the power, though. I like the passion, Ryan.
I've now listened to way too many interviews with Lovie Smith.
Dude,
this is not a guy who took a job to lose.
No,
Pep Hamilton didn't stick around to lose. And again,
hopefully you took you've been listening to the preseason episodes and been following because we've been
Lovey's been great.
We've been grinding out some nice Texans preseason action. They're playing with a real fire. Now, some of it is he's like going out of his way to win these preseason games, but I'll say this, just eye test the way the defense is flowing around. I like what I see. And Dameon Pierce, I get it. He's running, it's preseason, whatever. He was going up against some of the ones there.
He looks healthy.
And the 49ers game, who looked better? Honestly, turn that game on. You have Trey Lance with the ones and Davis Mills with the number 1. I dare you to tell me Trey Lance looks better with a straight face. I fucking dare you. Fucking dare you, Ryan.
Trey Lance is going to look better against the actually schemed up defenses, Sean.
Yeah,
don't you know?
Once defenses
preseason vanilla defenses aren't good for Trey Lance. He doesn't perform well. It's too easy for him.
And I'm with you. I mean, like division all day over 4.5. I mean, I think we gave out the adjusted win total of 5.5.
They might have the best left tackle in the division, Tunsil.
I mean, they asked Laramie Tunsil what do they think about Davis Mills.
Dog.
He goes, I know he's a dog. That's what I know.
Dog.
I mean, there's a lot of fun and they expelled the Deshaun Watson cloud that was hanging over their team the entire time. Like there's just so many. This is the classic team that's going to outperform. They're going to go like 9-8. I know I predicted them 6-11, but get in on the division, get in on them to make the playoffs.
Stingley looked pretty good. Hey, Jerry Hughes was even running around in the fucking. I remember I called out Jerry Hughes.
Plus 875.
Oh, no team's just making the playoffs in this division, Sean. Just take the even crazier. Like, how is the difference between make playoffs and division this wide?
3 times. It's crazy.
What are we doing here, guys? So again, if you don't have a little bit in your pocket, you're just being irresponsible. Grab some. In fact, if you want to be
normally we say our advice isn't financial advice. No. This is the one exception.
So maybe you have the blessed opportunity to check out a conference in Vegas for your job before the football season. Grab a little of this. Maybe grab a couple tickets. Get a couple $10, $20 tickets for the kids. They can participate. That it's like bringing back
savings bond out.
Instead of a Vegas keychain, bring back a $20 ticket on the Texans to win.
The souvenir everyone wants, a $10 AFC championship.
The content of all these little kids trying to cash Houston Texans to win the division tickets be fabulous. While obviously coming back to it, it's 4.5 on the win total. We were both at 6. Oh, I was only at 6-11. I feel like I need to bump this one up a little bit, maybe 8 and 9. So they can win the division by tiebreaker. I am smashing the over as well, and you want to make sure like the Texans are a team I'm very comfortable taking alt overs. I think when we did the preview, over 5.5 was plus 250. Get the fuck out of here.
I think
this they're not a 6-win team. Plus 250 for the Jags to be in 4th place, and plus 250 for the Texans to be a 6-win team. Fuck you.
Yeah. There's always a team with a new head coach that goes on a little bit of a run that no one sees coming, that overcomes some adversity.
For the listeners who have been listening for a very long time, they're going to think this is hilarious. Back from the Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson days. Shout
out to the real OGs. If you remember Ryan's love affair with Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson.
Strange.
And the St. Louis Rams. I mean, the people, if you don't remember, the Sam Bradford is not a franchise quarterback. It came from me yelling at Ryan because he kept taking the Rams over year after year, and I just finally got so mad. I'm like, Sam Bradford is not a franchise quarterback.
All right, some props to throw out.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find different ones than you, but I think we're on a lot of the same ones. I mean.
So this was crazy when we did the show. It's
still there.
250 to 1.
Oh, okay.
For Dameon Pierce to have most rush yards, it's down to 80 to 1. It's still interesting. They're gonna try to run the ball a lot. Dameon Pierce looked every year. There's a running back who it's like, how did every team fuck this up? He just looks the vision, the things that you can claim like, oh, it's the blocking in the preseason. You don't know if he was going against the.
No, but you can see a guy who like knows how to cut, but runs hard.
The guys who clearly understand how to run behind an offense. I mean, honestly, it's the biggest dig you can throw at Saquon Barkley. He has no idea how to run behind blocking. It's like the uber athletic thing. Pierce clearly has been a smart running back for a long time because he just looks like he's going to do well. So taking him to have the most rushing yards is certainly a nice long shot bet. But the one that I really like was for him to have, or any Texan to have over 1,000 rushing yards.
This is crazy. I mean,
I guess it might be crazy to say taking a pure total at that number, but to get plus 700 on the yes or on the over, that's insane. Again, this is a Lovie Smith team. They're going to play some defense. They're going to hit you in the mouth. They're going to run some nice play action with. Oh, did I mention Brandon Cooks, the best wide receiver in the division? So
yeah, no. So no, I guess. All right. So here's where, and I like it. I'm with you there at 7-1. It's usually tough for a rookie to get to 1,000 rushing yards, right? For obvious reasons. Last year, the only rookie that did it was Najee Harris. Now Najee Harris.
Did he start as the starter as well?
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, that's what I'm saying. He had the opportunity, and Elijah Mitchell actually came really close. He had 963. Javonte Williams had 903, and Elijah Mitchell did it in 12 games, which is crazy. So I think again, Najee Harris, 300 carries, 3.9 yards per carry. Is it crazy to think? I think Dameon Pierce can get 250 carries, average 4 yards a carry, and get 1,000 yards. To me, that's worth throwing a 7-1 on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Marlon Mack looked pretty dynamic in the preseason as well. So, but he just can't stay healthy. And Burkhead, he'll do his thing. Crazy, he's still in the league. That whole team, this whole roster is going to be great. This is like the old ragtag group of vets coming together for one last hurrah with a no one thought could make it under thought of second year quarterback who's actually the best quarterback in a class of giants. That would be pretty fucking great.
Yeah. Any other
fantasy takes?
We like Brandon Cooks. We like Nico Collins.
Nico's still like super cheap. It's crazy.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks you're paying for, but I still think he's, again, the consistency is actually pretty good.
Brevin Jordan been taking some of that late.
I don't know if he's like maybe third tight end best ball. I think I'll be playing him in DFS, but I don't in a managed league. I don't think you need to draft.
So who else are we taking then? You're not drafting Davis Mills, although if you are, if you're me, you are.
I mean, if you're in a 2 quarterback league, I would take Davis Mills. The problem is the quarterbacks ahead of him have like such a higher rushing upside, and
so then it's just Brandon Cooks, right? But we love Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, you're going to pay for. I think Nico Collins is the most interesting guy because I don't think people are on him enough.
Happily draft Brandon Cooks in the 4th or 5th round of FFPC of like a high stakes thing. He's going to have a huge target share.
No, I like Brandon Cooks as well.
I think
I'm just saying.
But think about the other.
His ADP is in line. Like people are aware of Brandon Cooks.
Think about the other.
You don't think so?
Think about where the other guys who are.
I mean, I like Brandon Cooks. That's good if he's not.
So think about it. Davis Mills 5th in PFF's deep ball passing rating. So this is it's going to connect. Brandon Cooks has always been a good deep ball catcher, pass route runner, all of that good stuff. And then on top of that, who's really going to take targets away from Brandon Cooks? No one. Who's taking Brandon? So
Nico Collins is interesting, but I don't even know in a managed league, are you starting Nico Collins?
No,
you think
so you have to. If
he's like a best ball.
If he shows you something,
DFS.
Maybe. But Brandon Cooks, if you think about the other guys who are like we talk about as like 30+% target guys,
yeah,
not many of those guys are going late. I mean, Drake London comes to mind as someone, we talked about Treylon Burks, but you talk about 30% target share guys. Michael Pittman, 3rd round pick. We agree on that one, right? DJ Moore, 3rd round pick. CeeDee Lamb, 2nd round pick. Justin Jefferson, 1st round pick. So I think there's certainly opportunity. Deontay Johnson, even that to me is a good comp. He's going around Brandon Cooks, but even that's 4th round. So remember when the Texans beat the Los Angeles Chargers 41-29 at home? Well, and that was actually my last note on this team is just the other thing you would be irresponsible to not do a little bit of is take them against the Colts week 1. Why, yes. Sean? The Colts have not gotten it done week 1 in the last 8 seasons. And
I think Dameon Pierce could be involved in the passing game as well. So
you want the hot take? Sure. Here's Stingley. Matt Ryan pick 6.
Oh,
Do we do a little first touchdown as an interception? I like that. All right, that feels good. You got any other props?
No, I'm just trying to look up some of the Brandon Cooks, Davis Mills stuff. But yeah, I mean, actually the one that 41-29 was a game he didn't play with him. But you know, some of these other games like 8 for 101, 7 for 102 and 2 touchdowns, 7 for 66 and a touchdown.
He's very consistent.
Yeah, and Brandon Cooks is quarterback proof. So I think you're crazy if you're not getting him. I didn't realize he was going that late. I thought he was like 4th round.
No, yeah, 4th, 5th round. That's fine. But again, I don't think many other guys in that area are going to get the volume.
Final question, Ryan. Do we want to take a stab at Brandon Cooks' most receiving yards?
What is it? That's a great question.
Yeah, I'll look that up. But I don't know. That's not as appealing as some of these
40 to
other.
1. No.
What is it?
40 to 1 says easy.
Yeah.
Look,
I'll pass, Ryan. Can't give them all out.
I think the reality is this. The reason I like the Pierce prop better is this team is going to.
They've showed you, yeah.
I think they're gonna Cooks is going to have a great season. I just don't know if his ceiling is quite as high as some of these other dudes. So that being said, I think his floor is quite high. I think if I would be shocked. He's a guy I would probably feel safe taking his over. Because it's probably set right there at like 1,025, something like that. And he's just a guy that's going to deliver on the number more than he is.
And Dryden was bringing
950.
up
What? All right.
For what?
Brandon Cooks over. I'm not an over guy, but Brandon Cooks is going over 950 receiving yards this year. That's insane.
All right.
I'm putting it down.
All right. Pierce Rookie of the Year is only 12 to 1. No, thank you on that. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you get in our free roll football contest. Chance to win $1,500 in the college contest, $5,000 and 2-night stay at the win in the NFL contest. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord, and you can click the contest tab in there to get going. Also, catch up on all 32 of our NFL previews. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews. Take you right to the page or just in your podcast app as well. And screenshot a nice review. Always appreciate the reviews. Help keep the rocket ship going. Screenshot that in, send it in by clicking the contest tab in the app, and you're good to go. We got AFC South coming up. Or sorry, we just did AFC South.
This is the AFC South.
NFC South. We're doing double headers, even though it's a Sunday. We don't stop for anyone. No. So we'll reset, be back on a little bit later if you're watching live on youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he's Ryan.
I can't wait for the Texans to make us rich.
Kramer, let it ride.